Yasu Malangezo. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Super Mario Brothers 1993 movie review.
Name. Mario. Last name. Mario. Okay, what's your name?
Luigi.
Luigi?
No, Luigi Mario.
Okay, how many Marios are there between the two of you?
It's three. It's Mario and Luigi Mario.
Mike! How many Marios around the side?
Excuse me, officer, that I'm pretty sure I saw in one episode of Home Improvement. On the podcast, I prefer to be called Malaka. Thank you. But seriously, folks, we're all waiting for the new Mario movie to come out. I'm excited for it. But 30 years prior to the new movie coming out, there was an original Super Mario Brothers that came out in 1993. God, that was a long, long time ago. But the 90s were a crazy time. Good music, good rap, and a lot of dinosaurs for some reason. I have no idea why. It was just a decade of dinosaurs. Even Whoopi Goldberg did a movie with a dinosaur. It was called Rex or something, and Rex and Me, Rex in Effect. I don't know. The point is, this movie, we were all disappointed. It came out. It was out for whatever a little while, and I mean it made maybe half its money. And then it was just bad. It just wasn't good. I mean, you watch it now, it's good for a cheap laugh, whatever. But this is not what we were expecting from a Mario movie. I mean, for the most part, we were expecting a cartoon or just something other than this. I mean, this is like, I don't know, Blade Runner meets something not resembling a Mario movie. Just I don't know what the fuck happened here. I don't know. So I like to talk about this before we all go see the new Mario movie, and let's just find out how this actually happened. And of course, with the help of Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Why free? Why not? This movie should have been free. I mean, it's just it disappointed on so many levels. I mean, there's only so many things I look forward to, from my childhood. This wasn't one of them, but at the same time, they tried. They and they failed. Okay, but anyways, let's begin. Super Mario Brothers, and it's not bros. Okay, stop saying that. I don't know how many times I gotta fucking remind people that it's Super Mario Brothers. Okay, clearly you can see the dot there. It's short for brothers. Okay, stop it. Also known as Super Mario Brothers, the movie is a 1993 fantasy adventure film. Oh, that's a stretch. Based on Nintendo's Super Mario video game series. The first feature-length live-action film based on a video game. Technically, that's wrong. I mean, they actually came out with another Mario movie before this. There was a cartoon, based on the Mario franchise. It's true. Google it. It's from 1986, and apparently I just found out that an animated Mario movie from the 1980s is getting a 4K restoration. It says here a fan has spent over 3 years and $20,000 restoring the world's first animated movie from a video game, a Super Mario anime from 1986. Well, there you go. I mean, I remember seeing a little bit of this back in the day, but it was it was still more realistic than the one that we got in 1993. So there you go. I mean, but again, I mean, this is the live action movie that everybody was really anticipated for, because the last one, '86 one, I think was only available overseas at the time. Now, if you have an internet connection, which I don't know how many people do nowadays, but you're able to pretty much find this anywhere. So there you go. It was directed by the husband and wife team of Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel. Written by Parker Bennett, Terry Route, and Ed Solomon, and distributed by Bruena? Is that how you say it? Bruena? Bruena? Sounds like a nice cheese. Vista Pictures through Hollywood Pictures. So, we got the Mario movie, 93. We're all excited. We're just waiting to see who's going to play these guys. So far it sounds good. It follows brothers Mario Bob Hoskins and Luigi John Leguizamo in their quest to rescue Princess Daisy, Samantha Mathis, from a dystopic. Did I say it right? Dystopic? I think it's dystopic. I'm pretty sure. Parallel universe ruled by the ruthless King Koopa, Dennis Hopper. Of course it's Dennis Hopper. He played every fucking bad guy in the 90s. He kicks ass. Rest in peace. But so far so good. I heard that the couple here, the biggest thing they did was the whole I don't know what it was called there. Max and Me, Max Cherry. No, that's Max Headroom. There you go. And if you don't know who Max Headroom is, don't worry about it. It was just some computer-generated head that I think he showed up on MTV and all that, and some commercials. I remember I had a beach towel that actually had him advertising Diet Coke. It was cool for the time. They even did an episode of Family Matters where Steve Urkel kind of mimicked him and whatever. And then if you look back at I don't know, some TV station actually, someone dressed up as him and took over the airwaves for like 2 minutes. It's a whole fucking weird thing. I don't know. I mean, again, before the internet, we had to make our own entertainment. But the point is, it seemed like, okay, these people knew what they were doing, whatever. So, all right. So, we got the cast, cool people here. All right. So far, so good. Development began after producer Roland Jeffrey obtained the Mario film rights from Nintendo. Given free creative license by Nintendo, which believed the Mario brand was strong enough for experimentation. Screenwriters envisioned Super Mario Bros. As a subversive comedy influenced by Ghostbusters and The Wizard of Oz. Really? That's what you got out of Mario. Ghostbusters in Wizard of Oz. Huh. Okay. Actually, it's funny is I heard that they sold the rights for what, like maybe 2-3 million or something like that. And keep in mind, like Nintendo, ruled everything. Long story short, Nintendo saved the video game franchise. Like Atari came out for a bit, and people were like, yeah, it's cool, whatever, but it looks like shit. So people just gave up on it for a while, and then that horrible E.T. game came out, and oh fuck, just ruined everything. And then it turned out that they actually did have all those games buried in Mexico, and it just, it was garbage. And then Nintendo came out and saved the video game industry, so to sell it for that little, even for that time, early 90s, and then they did really Ghostbusters, really Ernie Hudson had a mustache, right? It's the only one that, he had a, okay, so that's, but that's all we had, eh? Okay, all right. The setting was inspired by the game Super Mario World, which was released in 1990, with elements drawn from fairy tales and contemporary American culture. The production innovated and introduced many filmmaking techniques now considered pivotal in the transition from practical to digital visual effects. which basically is a nice way of saying it introduced the world to, doing some special effects, but if you look back at it now, it sucks. Except for Yoshi. Yoshi was pretty good, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Including the use of Autodesk Flame, whatever that is. Filming took place from May to July, I almost said June, it's close, in 1992. Released on May 28th, 1993, Super Mario Bros. Was a critical and financial failure, grossing $38.9 million worldwide against a budget of $42 to $48 million. It received generally negative reviews from critics who criticized the plot, inconsistent tone, and lack of faithfulness to the source material, but praised the special effects, artistic direction, musical score, and cast performances. Performances? Really?
I'll kill that plumber!
Dennis Hopper, again, I love you. I really do. Okay? Speed, Apocalypse Now. Whenever you teamed up with Peter Fonda, I mean, you're just Americana, man. It was awesome to see you perform. But I mean, this movie, it just, and I never understood that part of the movie too. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but like he says, I'll kill that plumber. Like, wouldn't you think he would say, I'll kill those plumbers? Because there's, it's Super Mario Brothers. They're both there and no? Okay. I heard there were like at least, over 10 rewrites and 5 different versions were kind of being used for this script at one point. And that's the best that they could come up with, eh? Like a classically trained actor like Dennis Hopper. This is the best you could do for this guy, eh? We're going to get into the hair later. Don't worry. But, he was on Conan at one point, and, his kid, I mean, I'm just paraphrasing here, but he said, like, Dad, I love you, but, you're a good actor, but, like, why would you do that Super Mario Brothers movie? And he said, well, son, I did it because, so you could buy shoes. And, his kid said, Dad, I didn't need shoes that bad. Yeah. I mean, back in the 90s, pumps were expensive. But anyways, despite appearing on several lists of the worst films ever made, Super Mario Bros. Developed a cult following and has been described as a cult classic. I'll maybe talk about this in another podcast, like what a cult classic really means, but let's just be honest with ourselves, okay? A cult classic, for the most part, basically means, a movie that was not very well liked when it came out, but years later is more appreciated. But at the same time, let's just be honest with ourselves, for the most part, it probably still sucks, but anyways. In 2012, a webcomic sequel was produced in collaboration with Bennett. Super Mario Bros. Remained the only live-action film based on a Nintendo game property until Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2019, while another Mario film, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, is scheduled for release in 2023, produced by Universal Pictures through its Illumination Animation division. Now I thought to myself, okay, first of all, that's wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Pikachu, nothing like that. Okay, I know he's got a big following. I get that. But this movie came out in 1993. Now, a lot of people forget that in 1994, the classic video game movie Double Dragon came out. Okay, and I'm being extremely sarcastic here, but it starred the one guy who I believe was the bad guy in John Wick 3. He had that cooking show for a while too, I think. And it starred the other guy who was on Party of Five. He was in that one movie, Go, which is actually a pretty good movie. It's actually considered a Christmas movie, I guess. Melissa McCartney was in that movie for like 5 seconds. But still, if you watch that movie, it's got a lot of good people in it. Very trippy, you know. The point is, it's not true. And then what about Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat, forget it. I mean, or Street Fighter. There you go. No, let's forget that one. Mortal Kombat, that was a good one for its time. You know, Mortal Kombat 2, holy fuck. But the point is, yeah, you know, there's been many attempts at video game movies, but for the most part, they always try to make them, you know, live action, you know, not non-cartoonish, whatever, with real people. It's tough to do, guys. I mean, it's almost like trying to make a cartoon into a real life movie as well. That's pretty tough. I mean, perfect example, the Flintstones. Okay, that's why we probably never got a Jetsons movie. That's probably why we never will. But yeah, it's listen, it happened. It was here. It didn't conquer. You know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, it is what it is. But I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on IMDb here and you know, let's see if we can make sense of this even more. So yeah, the current rating on IMDb is 4.1 out of 10. Okay, so like I said before, if a movie's rated 6.5, it's kind of, you know, it's passable. It's, you know, you may like it, you may not. Anything really below that, you know, especially, you know, a 6 and below, it should have never been made. You know, it is what it is. You know, but 4.1, it's just, you basically ask yourself why. I don't think it's that bad. You know, I mean, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I mean, yeah, I'm probably gonna need an ambulance after this podcast. But the point is, I'm gonna fight through it. I'm a trooper. The point is, guys, I mean, the hospital's down the street. What are you gonna do? No emergency could help this movie. The point is, okay, you know, if you think of it as a non-Mario movie, if you just watch it and think, you know what, I don't know Mario existed, it's a decent movie. It really is. It's not that bad. I've definitely seen way worse. Okay, the recent Fantastic Four movie, worst fucking movie ever. I'll get into that another day. I mean, they've had 4 attempts at this shit, and this is the best one, really. But, you know, yeah, 4.1, that's a little rough. I think people just, you know, are giving it, you know, more than it has to. But I give it a 6 out of 10, you know. As a Mario movie, though, yeah, it is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. But is it that bad? I mean, they still make some good references, whatever. But, you know, I mean, as a Mario movie, yeah, maybe 4.1 is not that far off. But, yeah. And as the tagline says on the poster, it says, "This ain't no game." Well, once you watch it, you realize this ain't no movie either. But yeah, this is definitely not what we expected. Okay, so I mean, they seem happy on the cover here, Hoskins and Johnny, but it's, you know, I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm told it's a good soundtrack. I mean, that's something, right? There you go. So as I described before, it says a little thing here: the 2 Brooklyn plumbers, Mario and Luigi, must travel to another dimension to rescue a princess from the evil dictator King Koopa, or Bowser, as I like to call him, but I'm old school, and stop him from taking over the world. This old tale. But yeah, like I mentioned, the directors, Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton, who, you know, were a couple at the time there. It's a whole thing. We're going to get into that. Writers, Parker Bennett, Terry Runte, or yeah, I think I said that right. Ed Solomon, and let's get to the stars. Okay, so let's see what, you know, what was behind the casting here. Okay, so as Mario, obviously most important casting role, you know, of a Mario movie, hence Super Mario Brothers movie, we got Bob Hoskins. Okay, so before this, for most of us, okay, we knew Bob Hoskins for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, okay, which is a classic. I mean, it's, you know, a movie that great special effects for its time, 1998. He played the character Eddie Valiant. You know, him teamed up with, you know, it's, you know, human and animation together. You know, it's it's awesome. I mean, it's got a couple of dark moments, whatever. I mean, but for the most part, it is a kids movie. Great classic movie. Okay, so when you're going to do another film, this movie wasn't like, it didn't have any cartoon elements. It was all humans, whatever, some special effects, whatever. But like even he was hesitant, but he kept like, he was given the script multiple times over, and he just got to a point where he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it." Okay, why not? His kid, like afterward, like Bob is, first of all, rest in peace to him. He passed away a few years ago, but props to him just for just trying this role, I guess. I mean, you never know. I mean, look, when you're an actor, you're like, okay, whatever, popular franchise, I'll be a part of it. Here's the sad truth. He had no idea this was based on a video game. Okay, that's how old school he was. He just did it, and then his kid later on, like, told him, like, this is based on a video game. And he said to himself, shit, if I knew that, I wouldn't have done it. So there you go. But other movies he's done that are really good are two of them that I've seen in the recent couple years. Mona Lisa, which is him. He's basically an escort for, escorts, which there is a point actually in the Super Mario Brothers movie that they actually deal with, strippers, escorts. We'll get into that in a little bit. But anyways, and another great movie I saw, The Long Good Friday, which he plays a awesome gangster. So if you have a chance, see those two movies. And a few years just before he died, he did another movie with Jet Li called Unleash. Now, I saw some unrated director's cut version, blah, blah, blah. Again, we'll discuss one day what the fuck is the difference. But this movie's awesome. I mean, the whole thing is he controls Jet Li, whatever, like literally treats him like a dog, and then he trains him when he's a child to fight people and shit. It's a really good movie. If you got the chance, absolutely check it out. But again, another well-established actor. Before this, they talked to a few people. They talked to Dustin Hoffman, which no, that wouldn't have worked. But like even the studio said, listen, it's not gonna work. And then the obvious choice at the time, obviously, Danny fucking DeVito. But he turned it down because he said he wanted to do other projects, whatever. But I mean, that would have been interesting to see how Danny DeVito would have been Mario. I mean, again, that seems like the obvious choice, but that never happened. So, they went with Bob Hoskins. Now, the next pivotal role, Luigi, also known as, Luigi Mario, which I love how they put that on IMDb, Luigi Mario. That's great. And then for Bob Hoskins, they put Mario. I mean, it's just stupid. But anyways, so John Leguizamo. Okay, so at the time, kind of a coming up actor. He did a lot of stand up before. Probably one of the first things I ever saw him in. Can't really think of anything else. I mean, at one point, I was told that he was supposed to do even a TV show. And he was kind of on the fence. He's like, okay, you can either do your own TV show or you can pick the Mario movie. Now, if anybody wanted a time machine, it'd probably be John, But he felt so strong. Like, you can't blame him because the Mario franchise is so big. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be Luigi. This could be a big thing. This could turn into, more movies, whatever. And that did not happen. Listen. What are you gonna do? I mean, Luigi was taller than Mario, of course. So there you go. But again, John Leguizamo, always liked him. The last, I'd say, 5-10 years, he's kind of popped into a lot more movies. Like again, mentioning John Wick before. There you go. He's been in a few of those. I don't think he was in the last one. I don't know why. They got to bring him back there. Spawn, he was the clown character. Again, if you watch that movie now, the special effects look weird, but still a good movie for its time. A lot of people say that kind of got the ball rolling with superhero movies. That, X-Men, Blade, all that. Summer of Sam, good movie too. I mean, in the most recent years, Chef. with him and Jon Favreau. Did a good job in that. Just do not watch that movie if you're hungry. That's all I'm going to say. It doesn't help. But I don't know. A lot of people consider that movie a comedy. I consider it a fantasy. John, I love you, but yeah, and this is the power of being an actor, director, and basically resurrecting Robert Downey Jr.'s career is that you can make a movie where you're kind of a portly chef. Your character is divorced from Sofia Vergara and is now dating Scarlett Johansson. So hey, it's there's one great advantage of being an actor. But anyways, Johnny's a cool dude. I mean, he always tells that story about him, that incident he had with Steven Seagal there, and he pushed him for no reason because he laughed at him. And I did a whole thing on Steven Seagal there and podcast. But yeah, I mean, Johnny's a good dude. So yeah, again, you can't blame him for turning down a chance to do his own show to do Mario. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's a no-brainer too. So I don't think anybody anticipated all these problems. But anyways, Dennis Hopper, listen, his work speaks for himself. I mean, this guy is, again, rest in peace to him. He did so much. Like I mentioned before, it just seemed like he always played the bad guy. I mean, like if you watch the movie Blue Velvet, that is, it's a David Lynch movie, so expect something different. But I love David Lynch. He's the man. He's created so many great movies. Like even like my generation grew up in the '90s. A lot of good action films. Speed was a great villain in that. Just when you got a chance, guys. I mean, I could do a whole podcast on Dennis Hopper here, but he kills it all the time. Like always plays a great bad guy. For the most part, he always played a good bad guy. Just kind of a creepy guy, whatever, and he was just that go-to guy, and of course he got picked for this movie. But a few people they were considering before, was obviously, speaking of action stars, they were talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, again, that kind of seems like a no-brainer. I mean, you have this big King Koopa here. Why not get a big guy like Schwarzenegger? But he turned it down. No maids in this movie. I'm kidding. But I still can't believe that story without like I'm going off script here. Yeah, like I have a script. Anyways, like that moment that Maria looks at the picture and says, "Wow, this the maid's kid looks a lot like you." Like like if there's any moment in history that I wanted to be recorded. I mean, listen, again, Arnold probably would have been a good King Koopa, I guess. I mean, but I don't know. It was just, I was busy at the time. What can you do? I mean, that was probably around the same time as like Terminator 2 came out in what, 92 or something? So yeah, I mean, there you go. Definitely made the right decision on that one. I mean, sometimes it helps not making, or just, getting rejected by a role or just not picking it. So I did forget to mention this before, and I do love telling the story. I think I told this before on the Tom Hanks podcast there, that apparently they were considering Tom Hanks at one point for the role of Mario, which again, I don't see it. He doesn't look like Mario. At least Bob Hoskins, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I'm just saying he kind of looks like Mario, him, DeVito, they kind of got the same face, look, whatever. But Tom Hanks, really? I don't know. I mean, they offered him the role at one point for a good amount of money, like $4 or $5 million or something, and then they took it away because he was, I don't know, like at the time, like you can understand before Philadelphia, he was doing a lot of comedic roles and all that, and some of them were kind of they're just clunkers. They weren't as good, but. The irony is they didn't want him for this role, and then they gave him the opportunity to do Philadelphia, which, gave him the Academy Award. So sometimes not getting the role is the best thing that can happen to you. I think the same thing happened with Charlize Theron. Or is it Theron or Theron? I don't know. I always forget. But I don't know. They considered her and Elizabeth Berkley for Showgirls, and Elizabeth Berkley got it, and she didn't. So again, sometimes not getting the role is, it could get you an Oscar. You never know. I don't know. These days, you got to slap somebody and then wait an hour and then you get an Oscar. But I don't know. What do I know? Anyways, also, Michael Keaton was considered also for the role of King Koopa. He turned it down. Again, I don't know. I don't. Maybe I don't know. Like again, it's just it's sometimes it's tough to see. I mean, like listen. Originally, when we heard Tobey Maguire was going to play Spider-Man, and we were like, really, Tobey Maguire? But then he killed it. You know what I mean? So to me, he's the best Spider-Man. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Andrew Garfield. Some people think you're stupid. The point is, you just never know sometimes until you see the person in the role. But yeah. So far, you got your 3 here. Okay. Samantha Mathis was picked to play Daisy here. I didn't really. I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to be a dick here. I haven't seen her in really any. This is the main thing I remember her for. At one point, they were making this movie. Her and John started going out for a little bit there. Didn't last long, but hey, like John says, at least something positive came out of this movie. I got to go out with her, but there you go. Then you got, this is where it gets really weird. So you got Fisher Stevens and Richard Edson, okay? Fisher plays Iggy, and Richard Edson plays Spike. Now, Iggy I get, because that's one of the kids. If you play Mario 3, my favorite video game of all time, nothing's better. It just, again, I'll do a podcast about that one day. I promise. But, I get it because he's one of the 7 kids, but Spike is just a random bad guy. I don't know. So why not pick one of the other 6 kids? Maybe. Okay. No, we didn't think of that, eh? Okay. So all these rewrites, nobody said, hey, let's pick another kid. No. Okay. So you're just assuming at this point, like Spike is just Iggy's friend, maybe. I don't know. Goombas are best friends with the Koopa Troopas. Okay, whatever. So. Fisher Stevens, I saw him in a few things here and there. I think he was in Lost for a bit. What a shit show. Just watch the first season, it's good. Then after that, just forget the show ever existed. Lost, that's exactly what you feel like when you watch it. I think there's a few episodes of Frasier too. Yeah, again, a really good actor. So it just, I think it's the first thing I ever saw him in, so... There you go there. And then Richard here. I know this guy for basically 2 roles. This role and one of the 2 guys that stole the car in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. One of the mechanics or one of the guys, I forgot, was he a mechanic or the guy? No, I think he was a mechanic, right? The 2 guys that took there. Either way, they went for a nice little joyride. So I know this guy for 2 roles. He seems like a good dude. And then Fiona Shaw played Lena. I believe at this point Lena was just a made up character for the movie. I don't know. I mean, she was good in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't. It's just weird. Like, again, I don't mean to stop this over and over again, but surprise, surprise. But you have all these characters in the Mario world. Like you only pick one of the sons. You make up another character. I don't get it. Like, why? Like, you got all this to work with. I don't know. Dana Kaminsky played Daniela, which was again Mario's girlfriend in the movie. She's got a beautiful woman, good set of eyes. The point is, again, a lot of people thought it was like Daisy or Princess Toaster or what. Again, like, we have all these characters to mix in the thing, and then you just make up a character, and a lot of people say it's another based off another character. Who cares? Just pick, just whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. Mojo Nixon, which is that is a kick-ass name. Played Toad. I love how on IMDb they don't even put a picture of the actual guy, who apparently is a musician in real life, and he still tours apparently. They didn't even bother putting his picture. They just put the person that he became as Toad, which again looks nothing like Toad. We're going to get into that a little later. Gianni Russo plays Scupelli, or Scapelli, or just there's so many horrible Italian stereotypes in this. I mean, my people have been through enough already, but there was a point in the script that the Daisy character was supposed to be the daughter of Scapelli, and then they changed it, and fuck, who cares? Francesca P. Roberts played Bertha. Now, again, Bertha, again, another obscure reference to Mario 3. Bertha, if you remember when you played those water stages that went up and down, whatever, Bertha was that big fish that tried to always swallow Mario. And, I mean, I'm just going to say it, okay? She's, a bigger woman, a bigger woman, again, big Bertha, good luck getting away with that shit today. That's all I'm going to say. Then you got Lance Henriksen, who played King Bowser. Okay, so this is where I'm really confused, okay? Because originally King Koopa was Bowser, or King Bowser, whatever you want to call it. King Koopa and Bowser are the same person. Okay, so I don't know if this is an IMDb fuck up, a movie fuck up. I don't know. But like he was just like the king of the Mushroom Kingdom, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, Robot City, Blade Runner, unrated cut, whatever. The point is, I don't know, he does a little cameo at the end there, but I mean, this guy's been in tons of shit. According to IMDb here, he's literally been in 262 movies, TV shows, whatever. He's been in everything. 6 more jobs to come up. He's one of those guys that always gets work. Cool dude. So, yeah. And that's pretty much the main cast, guys. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, the cast is fine, I guess. It's just, the script is just, I mean, the story's all over the place, but, fuck it. Let's just get into it here. Why not? I mean, there's nothing else to talk about. It's just, poor Dennis Hopper. He's again. Do you remember the pump shoes? You pump, and then they make you jump higher or run faster. It was all bullshit. I remember the time they were like $200. Keep in mind, $200 early '90s. Okay, so that's what, like 2000 today. I mean, it wasn't worth it. It just, I don't know. I think I wore Converse, but the point is, yeah, I mean, the actors did what they could with the roles. It is what it is. Even I heard Fisher and Richard, I mean, their parts were there, obviously. They just improv'd a lot of their shit. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, there were scenes, they both admitted, they just would get drunk during shooting. Nobody gave a fuck. Dennis Hopper, surprise, surprise, didn't like the directors either. Like nobody, Fiona Shaw said it was just horrible. Nobody liked it. It was just an unhappy environment. It's just absolutely horrible. They had the tape somewhere, I think in the States, like every day it was like 100 degrees or something, and like in the swamp, in this abandoned factory, that they rebuilt to be the Mushroom King. It looked nothing like the Mushroom King. And let's just fucking get into this. I just want to end this already. So frustrated. Anyways, not a good memory from my childhood. Not the worst either. But the point is, let's just get into it. So, the movie, again, I don't know, the Nintendo, I don't know, I guess this was a tax write-off or something for them to just give this company money to do the movie. I mean, this shit would never happen today. Never happen today. I still don't get it. I don't understand. But, somehow they did ended up getting a deal with Hollywood Pictures, and, the movie starts off with the music, and it shows the, Light Motive, which is the production company, whatever, Allied Filmmakers. And keep in mind, this is the only time you're going to hear the Mario music. Okay, it's a little robotic, a little whatever, It's kind of here to lure you in. Like, it almost tricks you right out the bat saying, okay, We got this. We know what the Mario world is supposed to be. We're gonna start with the music, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden you see this just horrible pixel, like even for the time, this looked like shit. I mean, I always bring up Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was made, and that's the irony. They said they wanted to copy Ghostbusters, and I don't, even Mario had ghosts in like Super Mario World, and I don't remember no ghosts in this movie either. I mean, nobody's catching anything, but and then they have this horrible pixel thing of dinosaurs talking. I guess it's supposed to be funny, and and then all of a sudden you hear this weird just voice.
A long, long time ago, the Earth was ruled by dinosaurs. They were big, so not a lot of people went around hassling them. Actually, no people went around hassling them because there weren't any people yet. Just the first tiny mammals. Basically, life was good.
A long, long time ago, me and Samantha went to Connecticut, and then we created the show Who's the Boss? And, yo, Angela, I'm going on the chopper. What the fuck is this? What like, it looks horrible, sounds horrible. We're off to a horrible start. Again, just lured us in with the do. We're all excited, and then fucking puzzo. But I'm telling you, I don't like when you're a kid, you're like, okay, whatever, and then you grow up and you're like, yeah, they fucked us, man. And then a big meteor hit. I don't know, like all of a sudden we're getting a history of dinosaurs. Again, like the 90s were just pure dinosaurs. It just fucking everywhere. Denver, the last dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. A whole lot more what, brother? Listen. So finally, listen. We see, the sign here, okay? The world blows up because of a meteor or whatever. Some people still think the world is flat, Malakas. But, and then we see Super Mario Brothers. All right, okay. Now we're going to see Super Mario Brothers. No, we're not. And then they go into the future, whatever. Fuck, who cares? And then you see a woman go to a church and drop off, you're assuming a baby, because, this has never been done. It looks like some kind of weird capsule. I don't know. It looks like, Superman Jor-El might be in there. Who knows at this point? But it leaves out the church, and it just, And what's weird is so it's the same woman, Samantha Mathis, playing. Fuck. I'm just gonna give it away. If you haven't seen this movie, it doesn't matter. Playing Daisy's mother. So I guess she's trying to keep the baby safe. I guess whatever. And she leaves like a little piece of a rock that's supposed to be a meteorite, and then she comes back, and then you first see Dennis Hopper as King Koopa, Bowser, whatever you want to call him, and it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point, folks. I mean, we're only like literally, maybe 3 minutes, a few seconds in this movie, and we're already fucking lost. Like, where's the Mushroom Kingdom? Why are we, I don't know, why do we give a shit about this egg? I mean, does it have something to do with Yoshi, or, why is this woman running in the sewer like a Ninja Turtle? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Why does she have shoulder pads? I get it. In the 80s, the women had, they all look like football players. I get it. I don't know, she's kind of dressed like she's married to the Shredder. It's a whole. I honestly feel like I'm watching a turtle movie. I mean, this could be April O'Neil. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, this guy shows up with this, weird hair. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not one to judge because I've been shaving my head the last couple of years, not because of COVID, because I want to save a couple bucks. I think my head is thin enough I can pull it off now. I've been told that, but the point is, it looks a little weird. I don't know. For some reason, and again, I'm not making fun of Drake or nothing like that, but it kind of, sort of reminds me of Drake's hair now.
Whoa, yeah.
Now I'm just playing around, but what is funny is that the coat that he is wearing in the Drake and 21 Savage Privileged Rappers which it sampled. It was all good just a week ago with Jay-Z and Too Short, which was I think another sample. But anyways, the same color. The coat he's wearing is the exact same color of King Koopa, Bowser, whatever the bad guy in Speed's name is, his hair. Okay, it's the same color. Okay, so it's just, the whole thing is weird. He doesn't look like a dinosaur. He kind of looks like an army guy, the way he's standing. It just, nothing's right here, folks. It's just, I don't know. So again, we're literally only 4 minutes and 15 seconds into this movie, and this is an hour 40. Holy fucking shit. Okay, so at this point, okay, they go to recent Brooklyn, and then you see the guys finally. They're just driving around in the van, and oh no, sorry. Before that, they establish they live in an apartment together. Of course they do. Because. They're Italian. I mean, they don't move out until they get married. I can say that I'm half Italian. If anybody else says it, it's racist. But I'll tell you what's really racist is having 3 plungers on the wall like their trophies. Again, this is not helping the stereotype at all. First of all, I don't know any plumber that actually does this. This is just too much. I don't know. They're just fucking with us, and I don't know. I will say this. I did always want one of those things that I don't know what they're called. The metal plate there that you put, like you used to put your hand in there and it makes the print, and then the face, whatever. It looks like like your face is a robot. But anyways, I don't know. They're just trying to get work, whatever. I don't know. And like I mentioned at this point, Bob and John, they're just drinking away. I should be due at this point doing the podcast. But anyways, they're just driving, whatever. And at one point, I think John took a bad turn or something, and the door slid on the van and hit Bob's arm and broke it. And I think for the majority of the movie, he did have to wear a cast or a few weeks, whatever. And, they painted over, whatever, you can't tell. But, yeah, there you go. I mean, like nobody, I didn't even notice until, I don't know, they mentioned it years later, whatever. And, I don't know, there's some job going on with Scupelli here, the main, supposed to be a mafioso guy, and Daisy's trying to stop him, whatever. And it's just, I don't know. And who cares? And, and then at one point the van breaks down. Of course, again, we've never seen that in a movie where a van breaks down and the guy sees the woman of his dreams. We've never seen this in a movie. Never. And $3 for a big bottle of water like that, even in the early 90s. Yeah, that is man, that's a shit ton of money. Anyways, yeah. So she's trying to make a phone call there at a payphone. If you're a millennial listening, I'll explain what a payphone is later. But they meet each other, whatever. Okay, let's have dinner. And then later on it shows her trying to get into the site again, whatever, and no luck. And then they're both on a date, whatever. They're just talking, and I was adopted. I was adopted too. Blah, 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 whatever. And then again. Oh, before I forgot to mention this because it's a pivotal point of the movie. You got Iggy and Spike here trying to God, fuck, I'm exhausted. These this is. I mean, you really realize how bad this movie. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like when I watched, and again, I love Jim Carrey. Don't get me wrong, but when I watched the Cable Guy when you're younger, you're like, oh, it's Jim Carrey doing this thing. Oh, it's funny, and you watch it years later, and you're like, yeah, this is a fucking bad movie. And again, they call it a cult classic, but it's not. Anyways, so Iggy and Spike are just kidnapping all these girls, in New York here, or Brooklyn, and they're just they keep getting the wrong girls, because they keep fucking up, whatever. I do find it funny that at one point they buy hot dogs and they just threw away the bun and they just eat the actual hot dog. I don't know why I find that funny. Actually, it's not that funny. But the point is, they keep getting the wrong girl, and then at one point they kidnap Mario's girlfriend there, and and I don't know, they're just, and then it shows Luigi and Daisy just walking along, and Daisy's like, "Oh, let me show you the site where I'm trying to break into here," and like basically at this point you feel like you're not watching a Mario movie at all. Again, almost 20 minutes in, and there's nothing. I mean, like, except for people's names and all, there's nothing. There's nothing. Nothing. And of course they're, I don't know, trying to get romantic and whatever. And of course, with every great movie, they get interrupted, and Iggy and Spike take her, and the thing starts to leak or something. Luigi gets Mario to come back with him to the same spot, and they gotta fix the problem, whatever. And I just realized, you see, when you watch a bad movie, you just zone out. I forgot. Okay, so Daisy didn't get kidnapped yet, but it was Scupelli that went in there and broke everything because I don't know. They want to get more work or stop the work that's being done on the construct. I mean, who cares? Where's the fireballs and people jumping on Goombas and nothing, eh? Again, 20 minutes in, bupkis. But anyways, they see the leak. Luigi's like, I don't know what the fuck to do, and I don't know. I guess I don't know. I did mention, like, yeah, she was adopted, and then I think Luigi was adopted, and then So I guess the whole, are they real brothers? Is that what they're like implying? They're not real brothers? Like, I mean that makes sense because one's British and I don't know, one's Spanish, so I don't know. I mean, no one's actually Italian in this movie. Okay. But anyways, so they go get Mario there, and then this part I actually like.
Mario, Scapelli's flooding the site.
We need your help.
Scapelli. Strap your belt on, kid. We're going in.
Strap your belt on, kid. We're going in. And then Roger Rabbit shows up. No, okay. But it... I don't know why I like it. Just like they try to make this sound like so over dramatic, but anyways, I don't know. They go down there and this is where she gets kidnapped, whatever, and I don't know, they fix the problem and they realize, okay, we got to go after Daisy, and then I don't know, they realize that like some weird image from like a wall or something comes and she got sucked in this portal, and Luigi's like, I got a feeling, tonight's gonna be a good night, and he just jumps into the wall there, and Mario, he doesn't want to do the shit, but of course he does, or else there's no movie. I don't know, the check cleared, so I guess you gotta, go through with this shit. And then they end up in what's supposed to be the Mushroom Kingdom. But again, it is, I don't know, it's Blade Runner meets mold. I mean, there's all this like fungus and shit all over the place, and they go there, tons of people. But there's references from, Mario, of course, the Thwomp Store, the Bullet Bills, the whatever the five, just all these little small references, but again, this is not what we expected. This is just, I don't know. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Like at one point, I like how you see a cop who, again, the irony is that Arnold, he turned down the role as King Koopa, but then you see a cop who looks like the T-1000, the bad guy there, the liquid metal, all that shit. He looks like that cop. For some reason, just on some kind of light, and he's trying to get some shoes off the light. It's just a lot of like random shit. It just like nothing is, And again, I've always said this, like, I'm sure when they made this movie, okay, they wanted to make it more mature, whatever, and maybe they were like, okay, let's do something where we can not only get kids in the theaters, but get maybe older adults or have their adults, be, entertained as well. But shit like that, it just doesn't work. There's a movie that came out years ago called Chappie, and it tried to do the same thing as well. And parts of it, you're like watching it, it feels like a family movie. Then all of a sudden, body parts are flying. It's like, rated R. You know what I mean? It started a Hugh Jackman. If you want to check it out, it's okay, but again, it's all over the place. But anyways, I mean, they're going through this world, doing with all this fungus, whatever, and, at one point they see Daisy, she gets taken off, whatever, and, Spike say, go back to King Koopa there, and they're like, yeah, we fucked up again. Okay, two dumb henchmen. Yeah, again, we've never seen that in any movie. Again, you know what? Now I realize. Hold on. Okay. So again, like, I don't know, the turtle theme keeps playing in the mind. I'm just kind of realizing this. So again, the whole sewer thing. You have the one character with the spikes on the shoulder. You got two dumb characters. Who do they remind you of? Bebop, Rocksteady. They report to, a guy with, I guess not. I mean, he's supposed to have a deep voice like Shredder. I don't know. Rest in peace to James Avery, by the way. He played the father in The Fresh Prince. The jerk off that slapped Chris Rock. Yeah, he actually played the voice of Shredder on the cartoon. I didn't know that for years. But anyways, random thoughts. It is sort of reminiscent of the Turtles. It's almost like they're copying that shit. And keep in mind, at the time, okay, the cartoon was popular, the movies, whatever, but, again, you don't feel like you're watching a Mario movie at all. It's just like you're watching this and like, okay, what are they trying to do here? Like, make a Blade Runner for kids, I guess, and, then they finally find the stone, whatever, and oh no, they had it before. Who cares? And then Big Bertha takes it. She's using the boots to fly and all that, and it's a whole thing, man. I don't know, like, I know, like even as I'm explaining this, I don't believe it either. So again, King Koopa's like, all right, we got to find these guys. They end up meeting Toad. Who again looks nothing like Toad. It's just a guy with a weird haircut, and then they arrest him and the two guys for being plumbers, and, because they think it's a search to look for plumbers, because that's what they're told, whatever, and they go into the station. That's when you find out, the guy's last name is Mario, like the clip I played before, and, whatever, it's okay. And then, they go in there, they finally meet King Koopa there. They don't know it's him. They're pretending, or he's pretending to be like a lawyer or whatever, and and then they trick him, and I don't know. I just, nothing's making sense at this point. Nothing. Again, like almost 40 minutes into the movie, just, and then at one point they have this machine, this revolve machine that, is supposed to make people, either stupider or smarter. I will say this though, and someone did make this point where, at one point, Mario asked like, where did you come from, to King Koopa here? And he does have his hands like kind of like a T-Rex, like kind of folded in front of him. I mean, again, Dennis Hopper is just trying his best here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much of a dinosaur can you be in a suit, but it is what it is. And they put Toad in the chair there, so they de-evolve him. He turns into, I can't even describe what he turned into. I mean, I think someone made a mention saying that instead of, Goombas have big heads, small bodies. So what they did in the movie, they did the reverse, which I don't know. I don't know why they would bother doing that. I don't get it. And, so instead he has a small head and an extremely big body, and, I did think it was pretty funny when they gave him back the harmonica, the one that you wear on your chain. I don't know, he's like a dinosaur, Bob Dylan, whatever. And so they fight their way out, whatever. And I got a question. Have you ever watched this scene? I'm just curious. I want someone to answer this for me. First of all, this is some of the worst fake punching I've ever seen in my life. Second, I mean, these guys aren't exactly Sonny Corleone. But anyways, like, where did all that ooze come from in front of the chair? I mean, did he punch the one guy? Did he stab him? I don't like where did all this ooze come? It literally came out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck happened, and I don't know. Again, they're just running around, running from the bad guys, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the ooze or the slime or the whatever they call a bomb shows up right in front of them. And Luigi's like, I think I should take it, and Mario's like, fuck this. I mean, it could have COVID, and and they're still just running away, whatever. They end up taking one of the cop cars, who I don't know. Like, again, I don't know. It's almost like being on a fast version of the TTC streetcar. It's connected to wires on top, and it's I don't know. And then they're getting chased by cops, and it just and then they hear like over the radio, be on the lookout for aliens, and Luigi's like, oh my God, we got to worry about aliens. Mario's like, oh, we are the aliens. Really? Oh, cool. And fuck. And then, I don't know, they run into a tunnel here and I don't know, all the fungus here. I don't know, Luigi says it's a big booger that helped him. And I don't know, again, they're still running away. And then Daisy's with the other women that got kidnapped, including Mario's girlfriend there and the thing. And they're given some of the worst mattresses. I mean, it looks like, I don't know. It's made of plastic. It's just horrible. It's no way to treat a future princess. But anyways, so then they're okay. I'm gonna make Koopa's like I'm gonna make Iggy and Spike smarter. And then he puts them in the evolution thing, makes them smarter. And then he's like, oh, go get the people, whatever, and it just. I don't know. And then it shows them in the desert, just walking around, Mario and Luigi, and they're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And one of the highlights of this movie, I will say, is when they show Daisy here with Yoshi. Now, the technology with Yoshi here is pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty realistic. Apparently, this guy, at one point, I heard like at the same time they were making Jurassic Park, the guys that were making Jurassic Park went over there to the set of Mario just to see how they created their dinosaur, and they almost recruited this guy, and maybe they did, I don't know, but it is a really good job, and it's a shame because I think they spent like at least $500,000 to make this robotic Yoshi, and for the time, even now, it looks pretty good, and you see, of course, Mario World came out at this point, like it was a cool little thing to put Yoshi in there for a little bit, but I don't know. He doesn't do much. He's just, whatever. And I don't know. Just, I don't know. And then Koopa comes in there, ruins the party. And I forgot to mention before when they put the, I'll kill that plumber. Yeah, great line. They put him in the machine and kind of devolve him a little bit, but not really. And then as he's talking to the princess, he kind of shows signs that he's slowly morphing into a dinosaur again, and whatever. And then at one point, Iggy and Spike catch up with Mario and Luigi. They get busted, and then Iggy and Spike team up with Mario and Luigi to escape, whatever. And they end up at a club, which, as I mentioned before, have dancers. And apparently these dancers in real life are strippers, and they were supposed to be, I think this movie at one point was supposed to be maybe rated more than a PG-13 or something. Like, I'm not saying it would have gone maybe more, but I don't know. At one point, John Leguizamo said that, like, even the stripper said, like, they wanted to, like, strip down and whatever. It's just like, it was a fucking free-for-all. Nobody cared. Just a one big dinosaur party. Open the door, get on the floor, everybody wants the dinosaur. That song is catchy, I'll give you that. But Mario is dressed in yellow. Luigi's dressed in red. It doesn't. Nothing make. I mean, it should be worst case reversed. But again, nobody cares. Doesn't matter. And they're looking for Big Bertha, and then Mario says, "Okay, I can, get the meteorite, whatever, from her. Dances with her." And what's funny, I'll give you that. At one point, he dives right in the cleavage there, tries to get the rock, and then lets it go. Then he gets it off her neck, and then Lena shows up, takes the rock from them, and I don't know. There's some deleted scene apparently where Iggy and Spike were supposed to rap, and I don't know. It's some anti-Koopa thing, and that never ended up happening. And who cares? And then they escape with the boots. Again, I don't know if this is a reference to the green boot that was used in one stage in Mario 3. I don't know, guys. It's like I said, it's all the references are there. It's just not well organized, and they whatever. They escape, and I don't know. I think the garbage truck brings them back to the headquarters, and I don't know. And then they find a locker. Okay, and finally, an hour, almost 5 minutes, 6 minutes in, you finally see these guys as the Mario brothers. They dress up in the overalls. They got the shoes on. at one point they kind of did like a weird handshake. I think that it is funny how, like, again, they try to make him look cooler. They got Luigi with the backwards hat, because at the time it was cool for a white guy to have a backwards hat. Beastie Boys, whatever. And I like those guys. Don't worry, I'm just saying. But it is funny. They got Mario wearing the Goopaline hat, which is like a hat that like a paperboy would wear in like the 1920s. And they're like, lag, and whatever that means. And it's weird because if you look at it carefully, their lips are not even moving. So they just edit this shit like later on. So, Koopa finds out that Iggy and Spike went against them, whatever. Lena, she's got her own little plan there. She wants to rock to herself, whatever, because, she realizes that Koopa does not give a fuck about anybody but himself. He's just in his own little world. And I did forget to mention that there's a scene where him and Lena are in this, like, I don't know, like this, I don't know how to describe it. Like, picture a pool filled with mud. And, like, Koopa, delivers this most iconic line. I can't believe I can't believe I skipped over, the brilliance of this scene, but here goes.
Do you know what I love about mud? It's clean and it's dirty at the same time.
Now, technically he's right, but technically he's just completely wrong, because mud is just, it's just dirty. And again, like, neither of the actors wanted to do this scene. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Christ. But anyways, yeah. So at this point, literally almost an hour 10 into the movie, it maybe sort of looks like a Mario movie. They're sort of dressed up, as their characters finally, and then they're stuck in an elevator with all the, big ass Goombas and reptiles, whatever. I don't even know at this point. And again, nobody looks like anybody. And they got the music. You go in an elevator and they got the soft music, whatever. And they do the weirdest thing to try to get past them. Is Luigi starts literally grabbing the guys, the bad guys there, who are like at least 5 feet taller than Mario and Luigi, rocking him back and forth to get him in a groove. And like, it's stupid, but at the same time, it is kind of funny. I don't know. I do have to laugh. It's one of those. I guarantee if you go on YouTube, just put in Super Mario Brothers movie elevator. It should be the first thing that pops up. And, Toad is kind of befriending Daisy a little bit here, kind of like bringing her food, and brings her a couple raw steaks. I don't get anything with a face, some vegetables, of course. Of course, the princess is a vegetarian. Again, another fact I did not know about Mario. But, yeah, so, and then Lena's there to kind of torment her a little bit more. And it goes back to the elevator scene. And then I don't understand this. Like, all of a sudden, they're all just dancing together in pairs. And Mario and Luigi at this point escape. And nothing. It's just all fill in this movie. I don't know what this is. And at one point, Iggy and Spike bring Daisy to her father, who's just turned. Again, I forgot to describe this, but Koopa keeps visiting the old king, still keeps him around. And now you realize at this point, the fungus everywhere in the kingdom, in the world, or whatever the fuck this place is, it's him. It represents him, and it still shows the throne there. And actually, now I think about it, like, it's so random. Like, this room alone, like, this room can't be like the main kingdom room. I mean, it looks like just a random. I picture a laboratory with no shit in it. Like, it's got, like, it's all white. It just has a chair in there. It just, I don't know. I guess the budget ran out at this point, and she sees that her father's just like a thing of ooze and slime, and the guys are just trying to still escape here. And at one point, Luigi jumps over a ledge, and he's convinced he can fly, and the fungus is helping him, but really it's just some hook behind him. And then of course, the fungus saves Mario, and they're just, and then Daisy comes over to the PA trying to help them, and I end up meeting her in the same room that the father's in, and it's, I don't know how to describe this. It looks like kind of a ooze tube of boogers and slime, and again slime. I get like maybe this is the Ghostbuster part. I ooze, and okay, sure, yeah, why not at this point? Who cares? And of course, Lena fucks over Koopa. Just you need the meteorite. I forgot to mention this before. So where they get transferred, whatever. Yeah, because we're really keeping up with the story here. And a very deep plot. And the meteorite separates the two worlds. I forgot to explain that before. I don't know, when the meteor hit, it split the Earth into another world. Fuck, who cares? Anyways, and then they find out that Lena fucked over Koopa there, and the one cop guy from Home Improvement there got back the rock for him, and and then they're trying to rescue all the other girls, and I forgot to mention before. I don't know, the guys are still dancing for some reason, and I don't know, the Goombas, and I know at one point there was a scene where he was ordering a pizza, and he's still wondering where his pizza is, and it's one stupid joke after another, and then they find out where the girls are. They escape through this like pipe, whatever. It's all frozen because they froze the things before to, I don't know, make people colder, I guess. Yeah, that'll stop them. And then there's a chase scene with the mattresses, and I don't know, they end up back in the world, whatever, and I don't know, he, at one point I think they took a mushroom or something that, and again, there are, some classic lines in this movie, but at the same time, it's just all over the place. But anyways, so at one point Mario is getting ready to, actually have a showdown with King Koopa, which is something we've been waiting for all these years. And then, finally, his pizza is ready. He's like, just hold on, because again, that really made a difference in the script. But at one point, I forgot to mention this, the boot is powered by one of the little bullets, a bullet bill. They put it in there, and it's kind of like then they shoot, like, why don't they just shoot the actual bullet? I don't understand, like, why do they need the boot to shoot the bullet? Nothing makes sense at this point. But anyways, here's another classic line.
Here, hold Mario. What? Take my belt. Trust the fungus.
Trust the fungus.
Trust the fungus. Trust me, this movie has, like, this is fucking stupid at this point. But again, it's just, we're almost done, don't worry. So, Mario will finally have kind of a final showdown here with Koopa. Okay, finally, after all this time, Lena again, she's got the rock. She's, I don't know, trying to go through whatever, the portal. She gets shocked. Again, we're in the sewers again. It just, I don't know. Raphael shows up and tells her off. No, just what, I'm joking. Anyways, but yeah, so, we've been waiting all this time. Okay, finally, we got a showdown. Now, I will say this about the last scene here, Mario versus King Koopa here, okay? Now, it took me a while to kind of kick in as well, and I had to notice this online for people saying this, but it does remind you of the original Mario Brothers on Nintendo, okay? When every last world, you face off with Koopa, there's the bridge, so this is kind of, I guess it's supposed to represent that. That's very reminiscent of that. So, yeah, and still trusting the fungus, don't worry. But until then, he's given the babam. Okay, so it is funny. He's got the babam in his hand. He winds it up, and everyone's just scared shitless. Babam, babam. Everyone's running around like it's like a mini nuke or something. And puts it on the floor. Thing going slowly, and of course, thing falls through the ground. That all that build up for nothing. And they're like, okay, what do we do now? Okay, we're screwed. But anyways, it goes back to Lena there, and she's trying to break through. She can't. Of course, she gets flown into the wall there. She's got kind of the whole. I guess they tried to make her up like the Bride of Frankenstein. I guess that was the look they were going for, but she realizes that she can't make it. She's screwed. She dies, and only Daisy can break through. I don't know. That's what they were talking about, I guess, in the beginning, whatever. And they're just trying to get it out of the rock there. Luigi helps Daisy, and then all of a sudden they just start merging. So this is a little effect where they all turn to dust. It shows Koopa and Mario merging there, and I don't know, they end up back into the world, and they and by the way, at this point they have a de-evolved gun, which is a Super Scope 6 that was on the Super Nintendo. They just I don't know. It looks like somebody just spray painted it in like 2 seconds, just black, whatever. I mean, again, no effort, guy. Christ. Anyways, and then there is kind of a weird image where it shows like the two 9/11 buildings kind of like disappearing, and yeah, it's kind of weird to watch that now. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, yeah, so then he tries to de-evolve Mario there. He jumps out of the way and he hits Scupelli. Scupelli turns into a monkey. It's a quick gag, I guess. And then, he tries to get Mario again. He puts the mushroom in front of him, trusts the fungus. It blocks it, throws it at him, uses like a shield, blah, blah, blah. Then they get then the Daisy and Luigi get the rock out of the thing. And it's a complicated plot, I know. And then at the same time, you see the bomb, like, again, it went through the wall, whatever, and now it breaks through the bridge there, whatever, before. Now it's going up where the bridge was, whatever. And and then I don't know, everyone ends up going back, and then they both have the guns, the Super Scope 6 guns. I'm just gonna call it that. Like, I remember my friend ended up getting one when I was younger, and this thing was like fucking huge. I mean, it was sort of cool at the time, but then I don't know, it's kind of like the gun for original Nintendo. Like it barely worked. You know what I mean? Again, the technology wasn't there. It wasn't as bad as the Power Glove, obviously, but anyways. And then they shoot Koopa with the de-evolving gun, and it is sort of cool. Like, at one point, you kind of see him sort of turn into like this dinosaur, and like, hey, all of a sudden, an hour 33 into this movie, okay, almost an hour 34, it looks like finally Mario and Luigi facing off against King Koopa. Like, finally, it finally looks like that. Like, this is what we're like. How come you didn't make him look like this the whole time? I mean, this movie cost what, like 40-45 mil to make? Like, where the fuck did the money go, man? Why couldn't he look like this in the beginning? Like, I don't know, they put the weird hair on him. I come on, man. Like, so I don't know. So they shoot him. He slowly turns into the dinosaur. Now, at one point, there's like this like kind of metal bucket crane or something. And again, I someone made a good point. I guess this is reminiscent to the last time you see Koopa in Super Mario World, where he's flying around in that thing. Now, obviously, it didn't have a propeller at the bottom, but that's what it sort of resembles. I guess that's what they were trying to do. And then finally, he gets shot into that thing, like I said before, turns into the dinosaur. You see this really cool image, actually. Like, this is what he should look like, an actual dinosaur, green and a little yellow there, or whatever. That's what he's supposed to look like. And then at one point, they just shoot him again, and he just, again, turns into this slime, I guess. And I do remember, like, I forgot it was my mom or dad, like, we were watching this movie, and, they even said, like, if they make another movie, that's what he's going to look like. And, they didn't make another movie. But anyways, yeah, so, it turns into slime, hits the ground, that's it. Everyone starts cheering, hey, Mario, you saved the world, whatever. And then, I don't know, in the background, they got Vote Koopa. They're painting over that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's a big plot point. And, and they're like, oh, let's all go back together. And Daisy's like, I can't. I got to take care of things here. And Mario's like, yeah, don't worry about it. if you understand that, she'll keep her here. And then she stays there, and then you see them going. She opens up the portal for them, final goodbyes, and then you see Princess Daisy with Toad and Yoshi, which at one point you did see Yoshi kind of save the princess because I don't know I don't know, the Koopa was kind of being a little hashtag me too at one point there, and you see him with the tongue, whatever, but no, it was Lena with the, well, yeah, he was being, a very inappropriate, but no, Lena was threatening her, or, yeah, Daisy, and, what, it was a waste of Yoshi, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, I don't know why you just tease us, again, maybe that's the whole thing, you're just teasing us, and I don't know. I think sometimes, here's my theory, and I think I mentioned this before. When they make a movie, and they think a movie's going to be a hit, when you have a franchise like Super Mario, they probably figured, okay, we'll put some money into this movie, but we're going to try to trick people and say, you know what, we're not going to put everything into this movie. Like, we could make this an $80 million movie, but we're not. We're going to make it half that. And then the next time, we're going to put more into it. Save money, and then, because people are going to go see it anyway. You know what? We weren't that stupid. You know what? I don't think I saw this movie even in theaters. I think it got such bad review. I mean, anybody that knows me, I'm a big Mario fan, for sure. Even I didn't see this movie in theaters because we heard so many bad things. And I remember even the kids in school, I think some people saw it and they were like, man, this fucking stinks. And, we read a newspaper. And again, if you're a millennial, I'll explain what a newspaper is later. But, it was that bad. It was supposed to be this big thing. And it sucked. It disappointed all of us. And I ended up seeing later on pay-per-view, whatever. And that's it, and of course, they come back to the apartment. It's whatever, days or weeks later, who cares? And, beautiful, again, the beautiful stereotype of Mario in the kitchen, making dinner, making spaghetti. Oh, beautiful. Why not? Why not? Let's just, and then of course Luigi's down because, Mario's got his, big eyed girl, and Luigi's just alone, and then Daisy comes busting in here looking like a fucking Contra, and okay, we gotta go back, and yeah, I believe. You believe? I believe. And then that's it. The movie's done. Or is it? Then there's some credits, and there's a scene at the end there. It shows Iggy and Spike being offered by two guys to make their own series, and you're going to think it's Mario and Luigi, and it's not. Over. Thank you. Oh, fuck me. Horrible. Just, again, it's good for a cheap laugh. You want to watch it, if you're, I don't know, maybe for background noise, if, I don't know, if, the weed is not kicked in yet, whatever. It's just bad, guys. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, there was a story I even heard that the directors were so bad at one point, they were handing out shirts, saying stuff like, I hope the directors die, or some shit, and they just wear them, and the directors didn't care. Whatever, they're just making their movies. And at one point, the one guy director there, this is such a weird story. He wanted to see if the makeup would stick on one of the bad guys, whatever. So, he poured coffee down the guy's back just to see if the makeup would run. And of course, it burnt right through. It burned the guy, but then, I forgot who saw that. I think it was John Leguizamo that saw it, or whoever. But and the director said that he had permission from the guy to do it. And I mean, these people were just not well liked. I mean, to this day, you mentioned those two names, they go back. Oh, you made the Mario movie. Well, we want nothing to do with you. That's it. So I think Bob Hoskins both called them cunts, and it's just a fucking disaster. I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes the story, behind making a movie is better than the movie itself. And I always said they should come out with, and I'm trademarking this, by the way. I want, if this ever happens one day, I always say they should make a TV series based on like movies or shows that are bad, but at the same time, everything that happened behind the scenes is way better. This is a perfect example of that. The story behind the Mario Brothers movie is way better than the actual movie, for sure. But I mean, it's just a disaster, guys. I mean, there's just this, it has its moments, whatever, just for a cheap laugh, but that's it, man. So, and again, this came out in '93. 30 years later, we're finally going to get a new Mario movie. It took this long just to get the stink off, and that's it, So yeah, I thought I wanted to do this one for a while and just put in my 2 cents here, about the movie. And like I said, sometimes I'll watch it just for a cheap laugh, whatever. It's cool just to check out, just to see, like what happened. I mean, like some people, you mention the people. Like I remember the Angry Video Game Nerd did a review, and like someone mentioned, they said, "Do you know that they made a Super Mario Brothers movie in the '90s?" And like you get things like that because the next generation's coming up, whatever. I mean, someone that was born in 2003, whatever. I mean, they're not gonna know. They're like, "Oh, the Mario movie," or "Oh, it's from the video game from Switch, right?" And there you go. So yeah. That's it, guys. What are you going to do? But hey, you know what? You got to start somewhere. And, it's hopefully, Nintendo has learned from their mistakes. Like I said, I can't wait for the new movie to come out. Actually, the creator, even said that they didn't use the source material correctly. No fucking shit. I mean, that's obvious. But now he's in control of it. They got good people working on the special effects. So, visually so far it looks good, but that's what we said about this movie too. So again, it can't be worse. It can't be. It can't be worse than this movie. It can't. Okay, so that's it. I'm exhausted. This is I don't know. I don't want to talk about this, but yeah, I was actually thinking of seeing like the original animated one and then this movie before I go see the new Super Mario Brothers movie. I don't know if I could do it again, but I don't know. Well, today, or today, well, today's it sucked because I had to do this, but tomorrow's another day, so we shall see. But, ladies and gentlemen, this was my review of Super Mario Brothers 1993 movie review.
Now, this movie wasn't imagined correctly at the outset. They didn't start out with a vision of what it was going to be even before they did everything else. And so you look at the movie and you see millions of dollars on the screen of special effects and all of those customized cars and that other world that they created and everything else. And it doesn't add up to anything. It's just a lot of people running around, all talking at once, in a plot that nobody cares anything about. And just every once in a while, a little moment that kind of sparkles. Dennis Hopper is kind of good in a couple of his speeches, but it's a complete waste of time and money.
It is, and I think, the timing would have been right with this explosion in infotech or whatever you want to call it, that the computers and all that. Kids are very sophisticated now, and if you could mirror that in some way, you could be a big bonanza. This film doesn't even try.
What this movie shows is that it's a lot harder to make a high-tech movie like this than you would think. And when we see ones maybe that we still have problems with, like Batman Returns, it's so much better than this that you admire it more when you see something like this.
Good point.